All right, so my last live stream froze on me. I only had audio, the video died. So we'll see if anybody jumps back on. But what I was doing is kind of going through some of the fragrances I'm really enjoying right now. You know, here it's in the, let's see, today it's 77 degrees, but it's been pretty much between the 50s and the 70s. So we're in that fall transitional kind of weather, but I'm already breaking out the heavier fragrances, the spicier fragrances, the sweeter fragrances. And so that's largely what I've been talking about. In the last half of the stream before the video froze, I mentioned Baccarat Rouge, which is a new one that to me, it's a 20-year-old fragrance, but it's like almost like Xerjoff Naxos with an aromatic barbershop laid on top of it. It's super cheap and very high quality for the price. And then I mentioned a couple others, Artisan Ethnique by Lattafa, which is an incredible, very complex sort of oak moss, labdanum, cashmere wood with some powerful sweet notes like caramel and things like that. So just a couple more that I'll mention, and then I will wrap up the stream. So the next one that I was going to mention that is, again, new to me is there's a few Zara fragrances that I picked up that I've been super impressed with. And one of them, hey, Jude, I'm doing a live stream, bud. You didn't take the meatloaf out. Okay. So anyway, this one is Zara Night Porom 3, and this one is it's sort of a combo between Dior Homme Parfum and Prada L'Homme, or maybe Prada L'Homme Intense. So it starts out with this sweet lipsticky iris, and then it transitions into this very fresh iris. I don't know how it exactly does this, but it starts out with a form of iris that smells completely different than the dry down. And so I'm actually curious, anybody who has Prada L'Homme Intense, if maybe that's what this is duping. I've never smelled that one because, again, it starts out like Dior Homme Parfum and then it dries down to something like Prada L'Homme. So does Prada L'Homme Intense do that? Is there a fragrance this is duping, or is it just some weird chemistry magic that they've managed to do with this fragrance? But these are very inexpensive, less than $30. This is a $27 Zara fragrance. And somehow they managed to capture those two incredible iris works of art. So anyway, that's a really cool one. If you've got a Zara near you, or if you want to get on their website and place an order, highly recommend that one. Let's see here. What do we got in the comments? Going to the shower and thinking CK Shock, 74 degrees. Yeah, absolutely. CK Shock is one of those ultimate cheapies. It's a tobacco cardamom fragrance you can get for like 20 bucks. It smells a lot like La Nuit de l'Homme in kind of the top and mid, and then it dries down to this sort of pleasant tobacco and lightly spiced fragrance. So again, one of those like Baccarat Rouge, awesome cheapy tobacco fragrances. Let's see. I'll mention one more here that I have really been loving, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have this one. This was the first Fragrance World fragrance that I got a hold of, and my bottle's a little scuffed up here, but this stuff is amazing. For $20 all day long on Amazon, maybe $22. It's Starman Nebula. I don't know if you remember, a couple years ago, Ash from Gent Sense did a video about this, and I think he said it was the first Fragrance World fragrance that he'd ever gotten a hold of, and I had seen their original, they have an original Amen dupe as well that had been on Fragrance Buy for a while. But anyway, so he did a video about this one, recommended it, and I picked it up. And this, of course, is a Mugler Pure Malt dupe. And so it's sort of this rich, fruity, spicy fragrance in the opening, and then it dries down to me, something that's almost like a spicy barbershop kind of fragrance. There's some remnants of the original Amen in the base. It's not an incredibly boozy fragrance. I think that they didn't quite capture the booziness from pure malt, but it does have a little bit of that. So again, an ultimate cheapie for fall is Starmin Nebula right here. Super good stuff. Let's see if any of you are commenting about that. Is After Effect a clone of Side Effect any good? Let's see. I have 2 clones. I can't remember if that's the one that I have. Let me grab it here. The one that I have is awesome. Let's see here. No, the one that I would recommend is this one. Out of the 2 I have, this one's incredible. This is Fragrance World's Intro Aftermath. This is awesome. The other one that I have, and I've actually had, I've had a couple. One of them I did a giveaway on the channel. There's something about Side Effect that I think it's the cumin note. There's this sort of pungent spice in some of the clones that sort of ruins the fragrance for me. This is the only one that I actually wear, Intro Aftermath, and it doesn't have that pungent. Some people say cumin can kind of smell like BO. I don't know if I necessarily got that, but definitely something unpleasant. And this one doesn't have that at all. It's, this is a vanilla, rum, cinnamon, and other spices. It's also got a saffron that will remind you from of Oud for Greatness or one of the other Initio oud-based fragrances. So this is really good stuff. And again, it's so cheap now, like 25 bucks. If you find it at a good price on Amazon or Fragrance Buy. So yeah, that's probably enough. I was going to talk about a couple others as well, but my family's getting home. The dog is barking and everything, so it's probably a little too chaotic to keep on the live stream. But thank you so much for joining. Let me see if there are any other questions I want to answer. Do you have Baccarat Rouge? That'll be my first buy once I get out of of poverty. Yeah, it depends on how much money you want to spend and whether you want the EDP or the X-Straight. I think there's a couple of the X-Straight I'd recommend. Alexandria's dupe of the X-Straight is phenomenal, but it's expensive. All of their clones are really expensive. The next thing down I would recommend would be Al Haramain's Amber Oud Ruby Edition. And it's about usually $45, but it's so worth it. I think it's 120 ml. It is super powerful, 12 hours, room-filling projection. And then they have Amber Oud Rouge, which is the EDP. And so you can get a dupe of the EDP from the same brand, the same line as well for around the same price. If you just want a cheapie recommendation, there's one, let's see if I can remember the name of it. I'd have to look it up, but Lattafa has a really cheap one. I don't really have time to look it up right now, but you could probably Google it and find somebody in the chat. There's a bunch of you on here. What is that cheap, like $15 Lattafa dupe of BR540? That one's decent. It's kind of chemically in the opening, but for less than $20, it's a steal. So somebody's asking me to shout them out. Their name is Bar Ian Var. So I'm sure I didn't say that quite right. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. I need to go ahead and jump off of here, but thank you for interacting as well. I'm going to be doing these every Thursday. And I'll see you soon. I've got some great videos coming out. I've got a killer clone list coming out tomorrow and a bunch of good stuff coming up next week. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you again soon.